Hello everybody, today we have Steffen Harning here with us all the way from Germany. Hello Steffen.
Well, hey, how are you, Rock? How are you doing?
We're doing great. I'm very excited to talk to you finally. Let's just, dive a little bit into your history. Who are you, where are you from, and how did you get into the music industry?
I've been starting as a producer at the same time when I did my study in economy, and I started hanging out with guys and doing some electronic music, some really basic electronic music in the early 90s, and then I moved to Munich and I started working in a recording studio, with analog tape, a big 32 desk, a lot of great out. At the night time, when there was nobody in the studio, we could use the studio for our own recordings. So that's basically where I started my first projects. But I was DJing at the same time, and so I joined with another DJ, which became my partner in Milk and Sugar with Michael. And so then we started like focusing on house music. We found our own label, and then finally 10 years ago we moved to the recording space where we are here now at the moment. We're actually 21 years now doing the house music stuff and still DJing and producing.
What was the reason to actually start a record label?
It was in the 90s in Germany. Everybody was into techno when we were starting house music, so people looked a little bit awkward at us. There was like one label in Germany who was a little bit into house music, but we didn't know them. Then we looked at the labels in the UK, but we didn't have a connection, we didn't have a contact with those guys, and so we ended up like having a pile of productions and not being able to release it. We made a business plan, we went to the bank, we were looking for graphic guys for pressing plants, manufacturing, etc., and distributors. And after like half a year, everything like fell into place, and we were doing our first record on our own label. And, after 3 or 4 releases, they were artists approaching us and saying, "Hey, we like your label. Can we do something on your label? Can you release our music?" And I think that's like everything started.
The record labels are kind of dying out, right? Everything goes into self-publishing. Everybody does things on their own. Do-it-yourself is everywhere. The technology is like super cheap. The knowledge is there on YouTube. So everything is very open. How did you modify it to fit into this ongoing situation in the music industry?
The self-promotion of an artist is something that is really easy. And you can get your music out through a lot of channels. You can get it on Spotify. But I think there are some borders where self-marketing comes to an end, which means, I know that there are like 30,000 new tracks each week going live on Spotify. And the question is always, if your music is great, so how do you manage to be discovered in all this big amount of music? That's the real problem, and I think that's a good label can help at that point. If we have a good record, we can really put it on a playlist. We can work with a distributor. We can work with international connections, or maybe for a young artist find a good cooperation with a singer or a songwriter. So, and that's something that goes on top of what self-marketing for an artist actually can do.
So when it comes to, DJ or artist or whatever, what would be the reason for them to sign up with a label, with any label, if you talk in general, and then we can, boil it down to what is special about you?
I've been talking to the Spotify, the new Spotify playlist manager in Germany, and I know how they are working. They are really looking for music. They want to have the independent artists, the young guys which are doing great music to have a feature on the playlist. I think for like a one-timer on a playlist, self-marketing is great. Yeah, it's working, and that's also what Spotify wants from the music creators. It's to just make great music, upload it, and then maybe you make a lucky shot and you get on a big playlist, and well, that's great. But you know, for our labels, we come most of the time labels come into the game if the artist feels that like his possibilities of doing his self marketing come to an end, and he needs network. So our network has been growing since 20 years now, which is cool. We are helping young artists like the DJ Sandy, who's the face of the new GEMA campaign, to come to the point where we were going to.
How important do you think it is for an artist to be open and open going and go out and connect with people? How much of the success boils down to this particular skill, in your opinion?
Oh, I think it's a really big part. It's a really big part. You know, there's so much talent out there which does not get discovered because you don't find that talent. In the early days, we met some DJs who were really, really going on our nerves because they were just popping up and like, hey, listen to my production, and we were like, no, go away. Yeah. But the people, they had those people, they like had a plan. They were improving their skills, they were improving their network, and I see some of those guys like having success now because they were like working on the network, insisting, not feeling ashamed of talking to somebody and get a no.
Someone were to knock on your door and say, hey, here I am, I'm doing this and that, and I'm on Spotify, I'm on this list, and I have a YouTube channel, and all these things to ready. What is your next step? Where do you take it from there?
I've been just taking over the management of a production team. They called Exit. They are two absolutely fantastic guys. They are doing great music. What we did is first take all a look at the socials, take a look at the results, try to sharpen the focus, to make them know who are they, what are the people who like them, for which kind of audience are they doing the music. And I think that's a big step to help an artist to just do analytics on what has been achieved already, and then make the right decisions and say, okay, to continue or to make the next step, you can focus on that one. I think this analyzing thing and focusing on who is the artist or who likes the artist. It's a really important step before you go into real productions and marketing and stuff.
Where is the point in a career-wise, that you would say, okay, I'm gonna stop doing both things and I'm gonna outsource all the business things to my manager or a record label and stuff like that?
I think if an artist has the feeling that business is like chewing up his time of being creative, I think that's the right time to look for advice or help. Maybe a label, maybe a network, maybe a management. So yeah, I think it depends.
Reason or a way for the old school analog gear and analog style of recording and producing to take part and shape the future of audio.
My very first studio, we had a 32-track analog console, which was cool. It wasn't like a really pricey model, but still, I know that this console was so much a part of our sound, though I have not really realized it back in the days. Then we had to move out of our first studio because it was like an old military complex, to move out in 2005 from that building. And we were like, this was exactly the time when we said, okay, are we going 100% to digital? Or are we building a studio which maintains the analog thing? And I moved to digital. So since then I did the mixing inside the computer, which was, I think I was an early adopter, and I think it was a bit too early. So the quality and the internal bounces haven't been there where they are now, and I really don't like to listen to my records from 2005 to 2008 maybe, until all like mixing in the box became more popular and the quality went better. So
is the freelancing in the industry going like going even higher and will be even more popular in the years to come? And are the studios going to be like all like home studios, bedroom studios? Or does it even make sense to build your own studio anymore? Or maybe in what kind of situation it still makes sense? And I'm wondering what's your take on the headphones. Obviously, we are a headphone manufacturer. So where is our part, or the headphone in general part, in the music industry as it's going to evolve in the next few years?
Well, if you have everything in a computer, so you're basically, when you're traveling with your complete studio. You can do music. You have I did it when I was on projects like in Berlin or in Spain. I went there with my laptop and just a small keyboard. I worked on the way in the train, doing like sound design, composition, drum programming and stuff, and that's really cool. And that's a thing you can achieve with just a pair of good headphones. You can bring your productions to a level where you would 10 years ago need a studio and a proper acoustics. I think you can go very far in the box on headphones today, but I would not, because I'm also a mastering engineer. I need like a proper acoustic surrounding, because reflections and if you then move from headphones to loudspeakers, a lot of things in the music actually change in the perception of a human. So, and that's something you need. I think you need both, but it's like very far where a headphone and a computer can take you at this moment.
When it comes to designing your room, there's a lot on the internet about acoustics and how you can modify things. If you were to build it on your own versus asking for help by an expert, do you think that ends up in actual better recordings in the end of the day?
I think that becoming a good mixer and a good engineer means that you have to work in a surrounding where you can actually hear what you are doing. And that means you need a proper room, either a room which just sounds good without doing a lot, or you need the knowledge of how you need to change things. I like the general approach is you can order some of these acoustic elements from the internet, and you can make out of a shitty room you can make a good room. Also, if you're going for the bass traps. I was also trying a software where you can do it like with your own microphone. You're doing the measurements in the room and stuff. It helps a lot to get to a certain level. But I think if you're going for the last 20% in the productions, I would hire a professional acoustic designer. What I've been actually doing more than mastering is like stem mixing recently, because I hear a lot of young producers, they can go up to a certain level where everything is like well balanced, but there's something missing, and the people, they don't hear it, not on the headphones, and they don't hear it in their acoustic treatment, and they need to go to someone who can add those last 20% all the way in a professional room.
Is there something in particular you want to talk about to finish this out?
There's so much great music out there, and I feel we are running out of time to really explore the market and to really explore what's there. And I can only say to people who feel they are talented to write to me, to write to us, or to write to as many people as possible, because even an A&R in a major label, he will probably not be able to find every talent in the net, every great talent, because it's just too much music out there and too much things going on. If there's good material, it's not very difficult to take a production from something good to something great. Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, that would be the official part. So thanks for watching, and until the next time, goodbye.
Take care.